Crazy Russian Dad here. Today I talk about the gestures, hand gestures, and how they differ between Russia, America, and maybe even other cultures. By the way, before I go any further, you should know I used to work for a translation company. I mean, not as translator, in technology. But I read that there is no hand gesture that you can make, okay, that is not extremely offensive in at least one and usually more than one culture. Okay, so even if our transmission gets cut short, you should know, do not make any gesture, because you never know when something like this might actually mean that your uncle looks exactly like a goat, like in the country that you're visiting. Okay, but gestures, back to gestures. Some gestures are universal, others are not so much, like can be very confusing. When I first came to this country, and I met this guy, he's now a big scientist, but we met and we talked, and he said, call me, okay? He made this gesture, call me, okay? But this in Russian means drinking. It sort of looks like a bottle, or I don't know why it means drinking, but it means drinking. So when he went, call me, I said, I don't drink. He said, I don't drink either, just call me. And I said, well, why do you go like this? You ask me to drink with you. He said, no. Anyhow, so hilarity happened, and we got to know that gestures don't mean the same thing. Speaking of not the same thing, whenever I sit in meetings, at least where I work, they use this, Americans use like this or this. It means me or not me, it or not it, like something about, I'm not quite sure, like finger to the nose, to this side or to this side. To this day I don't know what it means, so I don't use it. Other gestures are universal, like when somebody goes like this, it's like cut off somebody's head, that means stop. Okay, like for example, you're presenting something and you are offending the chief executive officer in the room, and somebody, your friend, hopefully will go like this, means stop. I think that exists in both cultures. Other things are similar yet different, like when somebody's crazy, okay, or sort of not crazy, but acting crazy. In Russia, how do they show it? They show like this. Okay, they stick the finger, they put the finger to the temple and then they rotate it like this. But in America, as I learned, they go like this. Okay, and at first I thought they meant like, I don't know, maybe she has big hair. But no, it's not about big hair. So see, similar, they finger around the temple head area, but different, like this versus like this. Okay? Oh, this one, I bet you didn't know this one. When people count on fingers, like 1, 2, 3, how do they do it in America? They bend fingers outwards. 1. The reason I like ice cream is it is sweet, it is chocolatey, it is tasty. But in Russia, they bend the fingers the other way. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Interesting. I bet you did not know this one. You did not pay attention. Okay, but now you know from Crazy Russian Dad. Okay, then there are some seriously universal gestures, like thumbs up. That goes back to those poor unfortunate souls, gladiators, who had to fight, and supposedly that meant life, and that meant not life. Okay, so we still use it. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up we give to every movie from Hollywood. Interestingly, by the way, I do not remember thumbs down in Russia. There was up, which meant good, but there was no down. At least I don't remember down. It's kind of like on Facebook. You either like something or not at all. Even though Mark Zuckerberg edits this various, smiley and weird faces, so it's different. It's different now. Then there is the good old V, okay? Not that old, but certainly good and interesting. That V, I guess, stands for victory, and that came across. You saw the Beatles do it and stuff, and so that went from the west to the east. And people may or may not know that V stands for victory or what, but they certainly use it. Okay, sometimes there is this, I don't quite sure what that means. I do remember that I think in Russia, grandparents, when they play with children and read them the stories, and they sometimes say in Russian, "Идет коза рогатая," which loosely translated would be like, "There comes a horned she-goat." I know it sounds stupid, but like that's what they say to children, right? And dogs maybe. So that stands for goat or something. But here not. I see people at concerts do this or whatever, even sometimes on two hands. But best to keep your hands on the wheel when driving. So because I always get crap from my father. He's like, "Well, why are you recording all these things in the car?" By the way, notice how maybe that's the also universal gesture of despaired children. Anyhow, so then there is other gestures like there is this, which means is good or tasty or something, but I'm not so sure how universal something like that is. So anyhow, these are the various gestures. I bet there are gestures in your cultures, and I bet I have forgotten some important gestures from my own or from Russian or American. Please suggest more or make your own video about gestures. They're fun. And whatever you do, if you're visiting a foreign country, don't make hand gestures, because you never know when you're gonna offend somebody's uncle. Okay? Good night.